Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am your host, Marco Mazzola, and we have with us our co-host, Mila. Say hello, Mila.
Hello.
And back with us again is Larry. Hello, Larry.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Today we're going to talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
We literally just got done. We just got back from the theater seeing it, so hopefully fresh in our brains.
A little bit,
Not too many,
Yeah.
Swiss cheese holes on the plot and what happened. We'll find out today, won't we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try not to tangent too much, but I'm not going to guarantee it.
If anybody been following, we do those a lot.
Constantly.
just a bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, not that bad.
All right. So Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let's go around and give us our love it, hate it, overall take on it. Larry, I think you did start last time, so Mia, let's start with you this time.
I thought it was really good. For someone who has watched Ghostbusters a total of one time in my life.
So give everybody, how old are you, Mila?
I am 20.
20. Okay, so she did not grow up.
Yes.
She was not born when the original Larry and I are
No,
both 45, so we were both around.
I was
when
not
the first Ghostbusters.
even an
Hey,
idea.
wait a minute. I'm 44. Don't give me that extra year.
You're there.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah. So I am
I'm
20.
turning 46 in January. I'm almost on the other side of that. So
Ooh, the other side of that hill.
Oof.
Yep.
But yeah. I know a lot of people that have grown up with movies like this anyway.
Yep.
I was just not one of them that watched a lot of movies when I was a kid, just the ones that we had on DVD. But this was not one of them. But
Gotcha.
but still, but
No apologies
I thought it was a really good movie, though. I thought it was funny. It was cool. There was awesome effects.
Did you've seen the originals, but like once or so?
Yeah.
So did you get any of the references?
I did, yes.
Okay, so you did at least knew it enough to know what the references were.
I wasn't like, who is that guy?
Unlike Larry and I, who've probably seen it
who
a
are the
billion
people in the
times,
car?
yeah,
What's
with
the
it.
car?
Right.
It's not like when he goes, who you gonna call? Went right over my that I got.
We'll
that.
get there. I heard a distinguished groan from Larry when that part came by.
I was like,
factor.
oh yeah, oh
There's a little bit of
yeah.
cheese. There's a little bit of cheese. Larry, what did you think overall?
Love cheese.
Overall, it was good. It was good. It was okay.
The man of few words.
It was well, because I was thinking, like, as I'm watching this movie, I'm going, how much do I like this part? How much do I like? I'm like, knowing that we're doing this right after, right? I think I found myself kind of over analyzing certain things.
Sure.
Because I definitely wanted to hit on a couple of things. So I definitely feel that, the over analyzation was definitely there for me.
Yeah, when you do the podcasting, you definitely look at things with a very different eye.
Right.
Even stuff you've seen prior to, like, oh, we're gonna do a podcast on this. Let's go back and watch it.
Right.
Sometimes it
Definitely get a
can
little
be
more.
easy to think like that. Like you go and you go into a movie going, okay, I'm going to do a podcast over this. I'm going to do a
hypercritical
podcast over this, and then you're like, is this really funny? Is this really
Right,
good?
I mean,
is this acting good? Or like,
part of that was that, but for me, I mean, I liked that it had just the right cheese factor, just the right nostalgia,
A lot of nostalgia.
Yeah,
in
like,
there.
it was
Oh, yeah.
just
Oh,
the
yeah.
right amount. Like they didn't go too far with it. They didn't undersell things.
Right.
Like there was definitely certain parts of that I was like, all right, I kind of like it. Yeah, that was good. As far, but overall, it was a good movie. I don't.
So
I don't
we're going to talk about in depth on the movie. So obviously, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, it's right up at the front. We're going to talk about individual parts about the movie and talk about what happened. So if you haven't seen it, go see it and come back and listen to the rest of the podcast because we're going to get in deep. We're going to go deep on this one.
Yeah.
yes.
Starting off, the new cast, if you will, right? I mean, this isn't the reboot cast, which was horrible, and we will try not to talk about that during the podcast. But it's a sequel.
Definitely a sequel.
It's a
Yes.
wonder. So my
Absolute-
personal opinion, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they did what they did with it, with what they had to work with.
Yes.
Right. The original actors being older, obviously one of them is gone. What they had to work with was, we knew it wasn't going to be a direct. They're all out there doing the Ghostbusting the whole time.
Yeah,
So you had to have
it was like
somebody else pick up the
realistic. Like,
mantle,
how
right.
much business can this really get?
Exactly. How much are the Bill Murray and they all going to be running around, jumping around? Because there's a lot of action in this movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but I
moving
think
pretty well.
Bill Murray kind of said, like, he's just done doing like movies. Like, he's not really, you don't see him a lot, and what you have seen him in the last couple, it's like it's
he kind of pops in and out. Like Zombieland, when he popped into Zombieland really quickly.
Like, oh, surprise, it's Bill Murray.
Oh,
all right,
that's sad.
bye.
You should see that.
No, it's zombies. No.
Oh, it's
I like
fun,
zombies. I'll probably see it.
Zombieland? It was fun. Oh, here we go. It's been 3 seconds. We've already
started.
We're already going, I like zombies. I don't like zombies. Here's why.
There's no zombies in Ghostbusters, I don't think you can call them zombies. They're just ghosts.
There was one guy that looked like a zombie, but he was a ghost.
He's a ghost. Yeah, the guy at the counter.
Yeah.
Well, what about the guy in the coffin?
He was alive.
Was
he was a guy.
Okay, so to get into it, so that was Ivo Chandler, right?
Yeah,
Chandler, right?
Evo,
that was one of the things that might have gone over my head. I didn't know who he was.
Played by who? Don't look it up.
I actually saw this. Triple J.
Yeah, it's J.K. Simmons he's J. Jonah Jameson.
What's that? J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Every time I run into J.K. Simmons, sometimes it just goes over my head.
Like, do you guys have coffee together?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But every time, every time I see him in a movie or a show, it doesn't hit me until afterwards that was J. Jonah
Jameson.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm like, what? That was him. And I'm like,
pretty cool.
This year alone, I've gone like 3 times. I'm like, what? That was the guy.
So to pull it back to the original, who do we have as sort of your cameos in there? Obviously, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson. I liked Annie Potts being back in there. And then, of course, we have, if you stay for the end credit scenes.
Right.
Right. Pretty much right after it ends, you go right into.
Well, it's weird because as they roll in the credits, they says, and guest starring,
right.
they say the names, and they say
Sigourney Weaver.
I was like, wait a minute.
The same thing, right?
Who did she play?
But then they cut to her scene,
that was
which
funny.
is reminiscent of the original Ghostbusters when Bill Murray was zapping the guy for the science experiment. The so she's in it. I thought that was a great pull into there. So one omission, which I'm not sure if you guys know why, but there was no Rick Moranis. Right, so we didn't have Rick Moranis in it. He was in it for the original 2.
Right.
He retired.
He retired from acting,
but I think he's coming back to do something. I just read.
Oh, okay.
He's coming back to do something else, but he retired years ago.
Like a long time. I think it was like after Little Giants, whatever. He may have done a couple things after that, like Little Giants,
Honey, I Shrunk the movies, and
right.
Honey, I Blew Up the movies.
Oh,
So he kind of retired from acting.
Yeah, he finished a long time ago. I remember that
he did.
now.
He was kind of done with Hollywood and just wanted to move on and just live his life with his family, raise his kids, yada yada. So he's been not doing anything for a while. So I know he's coming back for something else. I was kind of shocked that he didn't come back for this one, even like a Sigourney Weaver appearance, like 2 seconds.
Right.
Like Annie Potts was in this a little bit more.
Right.
But I was surprised that he didn't come back for at least a little something. Since he was there to help boot the series originally.
Yeah.
What was he, the keymaster? Right? She was the gatekeeper. Was he the keymaster?
Right?
He was. Yep.
So, I thought that was a little, I would love to have seen him in there, but I get it.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to do it, you don't want to do it. I get that.
I think it's something about it, like his wife was sick or something like that. Or am I confused that one with Martin Short? Because I know Martin Short
could have been. I could look it up.
All I heard was that he just, he didn't want to do it, and he wanted to, be with his family.
Yeah, I just wanted to do that.
I'm not sure why.
So what did we think now? I like the addition of Paul Rudd.
Yes.
I like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I thought he was fine. I thought he did well. But we'll go through the individual stuff early. Let's see. We had, Carrie Coon was Callie, right? Or Kaylee, right? And then Finn Wolfhard he's from Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
So he played
That's his
Trevor.
second time wearing a Ghostbusters outfit.
Yeah, that's right, because they did the
in Stranger Things you wore one.
Pretty cool. Right, McKenna Grace is Phoebe. I thought she did well. I mean, she
did a good job.
Carries the movie, right? She has to pretty much carry the movie. 90%
she essentially is the main character.
Yeah, she is, because she's the one who's going through all this. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the individual things that they did, what they did right, and some things you kind of bumped up against. Because there was definitely some things, as like I said, I love the movie overall, but watching it, there was a couple, I squirmed in my seat, really? So, do you have any of those?
I definitely did.
All right, talk to me.
It was some of the technicalities of it. And Mila, this is why I had you put my backpack on. So that has some of my tools and stuff that I use for work. I'm an electrician, so I have some of my heavier tools. I didn't have my screw gunners in there, so it wasn't that heavy. I had you do that because I wanted to see how you felt of that backpack with the weight.
Yeah.
In the first one, when the guys put those backpacks on, they're like, "Oh my God, this thing's so heavy!" It's
they
all
were marking
metal.
how heavy it is. In fact, Bill Murray kind of stumbles
when
they first strap it on him.
Here's a 12-year-old girl puts it on like a champ.
2
right out the
seconds, she
gate.
kind of
She's
like,
like, yeah, I got
and then
this.
just started
I'm like,
running
wait a
around
minute.
with
She's
it.
running around with it.
Yeah, that thing's got to be heavy.
It's
Of
around 50
course.
pounds. Yeah, they're at least a 50-pound thing. They said.
Again, going back to the original when they first turn them on for the first time and they shoot it when they're trying to get Slimer in the hotel, like they can't even control that thing.
Yes.
The laser.
So there
she puts
was
it
a
on
little
and she controls it like in 2 seconds.
Yeah, there was a very fast learning curve for her.
I don't think there was a curve. It was a
There
line.
was a straight line.
It was oh wow,
She
that
turned
thing's
a corner
powerful.
and there she was.
Right, like she knows she's all of a sudden she's the best Ghostbuster out there. Finn I'm calling him Finn.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's not his
I
name.
don't remember what his name was
Trevor.
in this show.
Trevor.
But you got him driving the car, the Ecto
Like a
One,
champ,
like
the guy
a
who
champ.
failed his driver test like
3
3 times.
Yeah.
He's driving that
It's
thing
probably
a
like
champ.
stuff like the parallel parking. Not gonna lie.
It could
like
be.
because
Going
that
straight is
I
not too
think
hard.
I
Even taking corners isn't
it took
that
me
hard.
twice.
Yeah.
The first time I was like, I'm trying to parallel park. I'm sorry. They're like, no.
No, you
Get out the
can't.
car. Get out the car.
Get
You
out
don't even
that.
get to continue. Get out the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, I mean, I guess I'm just nitpicking.
It's okay. We have a love affair, if you will, with the originals.
Yeah, but again, we've talked about.
And then we had that horrible reboot. So when you want to yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
When you try
what?
to
I don't know
wipe
what you're
your
talking
brain
about.
That existed.
First of all,
when you come back finally after 30 years, you want it to be,
Good.
on par. You want it to be blow your mind away, and you want
Not
like
some sort of-
zero things to bump into because you've waited so long.
Right. I mean, honestly, I'm not even looking for like blow my mind away. There were certain things I like the idea, but the kid's 12 years old shooting a photon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
but Ray had a hard time doing it in part 1 and in part 2.
Yeah.
Like, so there was that kind of aspect to it. Like the 3 kids, literally the 3 children, the older brother was 15.
Yep.
And they all of a sudden knew everything that they was. That was
Yes.
1. 2, not for nothing, but if I see this big ghost demon dog thing, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, that's weird.
Okay, so that's my biggest
Yeah,
bump.
that's,
like
that's
nobody
usually
was
my
shitting
biggest
their
thing.
pants
Nobody.
enough for
Yeah.
me.
I'm
Yeah.
Like
running.
just from the Munchie Ghost, which was voiced by Josh Gad.
I
by the
would've
way.
been like, oh my
just
God.
from that
Oh
alone,
my God, what is
and it's
that?
like she's like, I don't believe in. She goes from I don't believe in ghosts to hey, look a ghost, that's cool, and there's no
Yeah.
shitting of the pants.
Yeah.
at
See,
all.
that's
For
usually
any
the
of
thing that
mother a
gets me
little
the
bit,
most
but
is
other
when-
than that, there was nothing. They're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is what happens right now.
Yeah.
This is where we are. We're fighting ghosts right now because we have nothing else to do in this little deadbeat
Right.
town.
And-
Yeah. For me,
Wait a minute, hold on.
one of my biggest pet peeves that like, because usually I try not to look into movies too much and go like nitpick, but that's one of the things that gets me the most is
Kinda
when
the
the
occupational
act
hazard
is
when
when
you're doing
it's not the
podcasting.
acting, it's like the way they respond isn't how one actually would respond in that situation.
Oh no, absolutely. They saw some amazingly
it's times like that. It's points like that.
horrific and scary things.
Because their acting is good.
Yeah.
It's just the way that the character's moment was held, like.
Yeah,
or
and that's
something.
the writing.
I'm like,
that's the,
yeah,
the
that's
writing
the writing.
tells them to act scared or to act surprised or to act aloof.
Yeah.
And they were kind of aloof about everything. Like,
About
yeah,
everything.
go bust some
Yeah,
ghosts
every
right
single
now.
thing. It was like, oh, what are we, like the mom's like panicked, like what's going on? And they go, well, ghosts are, and she goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that was her
That's
reaction
normal.
was oh, of course.
Okay,
Why
so
didn't I
to
think
me,
of that?
And it started before she saw any of the ghosts. Remember that she's playing chess with nobody. She's kind of like, I guess the chess pieces
Yeah.
move on their own now.
Right.
Yeah, she puts
Then
a piece
she goes
down there, walks away.
She goes down, she slides down, which I thought was funny. They had the fire pole. He had the fire pole to go down to
Yep.
this sort of
Yeah,
ladder.
that was-
work
that
on
was
that,
funny.
work on
Again,
that.
that little bit of nostalgia.
Right, and that was totally cool. But she goes down and the lamps are moving and things are just helping her. And there's no like, how the hell is this room helping me? There's obviously ghosts down here.
She's like,
moving
oh,
things.
that's mildly odd.
So my problem with it is it's not like this was taking place in Narnia, a fantasy land. It was taking place in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
With like
Some
reality, I
Oklahoma.
get it. Like it's a ghost movie, so you have to suspend disbelief of ghosts and all this crap happening.
Sure.
But you
Right.
set it in a real world where people have like they don't believe in ghosts or she didn't.
And the
all of
thing
a
in New
sudden,
York has been
this
forgotten
ghost-
by the kids.
They didn't even really know
Yeah, they
about it.
didn't
They had to
know
look it
about
up.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think the teenager kind of knew about it, but that Trevor.
Well, he just said it was like the ghost stories.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, the
those,
ghosts-
but she's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
they're real.
right.
You
He's
know,
like, oh,
so he had
okay.
heard about it, but mostly
Yeah.
everything else, Paul Rudd had to tell them.
Yeah.
He was the exposition. He was the exposition of having to tell everybody
Yeah.
what was going
Right,
on.
and then she
Yeah.
goes online and sees the YouTube videos.
Right.
And she's
so-
like, oh, of course.
Yeah, so my granddad's is a Ghostbuster. Okay, cool. We're rocking with this. But that was, to me, the biggest bump. Like I said,
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
love the movie. It's not taking me out of loving the movie because maybe my love comes from the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right,
of it.
and that's
No,
that's why I was
it's
okay with it.
allowing me to get through the sort of like, how does she not getting freaked out that this room the lamp is helping her. Shit's
Everything's
moving.
Although-
And then
Although
the
the
lamp's
thing
helping
is-
the mother too. And I was like, all right, come on, man.
Yeah.
The mother, has not gone through all this with them, has not seen the mine and seen the Munchie ghost.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she just gets down there, which, okay, she finds it's down there, but then shit starts moving for her too. And nobody
Yeah.
goes, why is this lamp moving?
Well,
that
Yeah.
was really weird.
Right, and the I forgot what it was called though, but Egon's little tool there.
The ghost finder, basically.
Yeah. So the little girl sees it and goes, and like within 2 seconds figures out what it does.
Yeah.
The mother, who has no idea about anything, like you said, she finds it and she does the same thing. I'm like, all right,
And essentially,
you're-
you chalk it up to like it's basically like a GPS, and like my phone can track my keys.
Although something like that,
Right, like I
that
have an
machine,
AirTag on my keys.
it's not that complicated to figure out.
No,
Because
wait,
it's
what
not even
is
like
it?
there's a button to turn it on. It's not like you have to
Wait, those
switch
buttons.
anything.
A lot of buttons on that
Well,
thing.
no one presses any
but nobody
buttons.
presses
That's the
anything.
problem.
Yeah.
That's
Nobody
the
presses
problem. Nobody
to
presses the
turn
freaking
it
button.
on.
It's
So
just
they
on.
don't. Well, that's the magic thing.
But
They
if you
don't
look
even
at it,
need
there's
to
like a
press
red
the
button
buttons to get it
underneath,
to
there's all
work.
kind of shit on
It
the
just
top.
does.
But here's the thing,
knobs.
though. Neither one of them know what it is.
Yeah.
So
Although-
if you see something that you don't know what it is, how do you know how to operate it? How do you know to follow
Although
So
the
if
thing
it's
is,
on,
they
it
both
moves.
you see them.
When you
They go
move it, it
like
goes
they
up or
test
down.
it. They go, "What is this?" And they kind of like change direction. Then it
It-
closes. It starts to close, and then they change back, and it starts to like open again.
Yeah, like a,
so
like
it's
a
like
metal
it's
detector.
kind of it's
Like
yeah, it's like
if
a
I
metal
pull away and it stops
detector.
beeping, I know to go
Like
back that
yeah,
way.
it's kind of
Beeping.
weird, but it's kind of easy to get.
I don't think-
especially if the buttons are useless.
I don't think they knew that it was finding ghosts. I don't
Yeah.
think that they didn't
They're like,
understand.
oh,
it was
I
what
wonder
the
where
hell are you
I'm
following
going.
then?
They're following shit. It's a movie.
Yeah.
They're investigating.
well, what-
but that still bugs me. They're investigating and they run into some crazy shit and nobody shits their
And no,
pants.
yeah, and no, there's no reaction. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
problem.
Like when the
They're
mother
like-
slides
Barely
down.
reaction to like this room is helping her do
So
things.
this
It's
is what it's-
moving.
See, the
It's
thing is,
showing her
the
shit.
thing is, I liked that scene. Although the thing is, that still does get me that writing. Like I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense. But I still did like that scene. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, it was touching.
Like,
It was fun. We had to get the payoff of her and
Yeah.
Egon, her relationship, and he really
Yeah.
did love her.
And how it's like,
Clearly,
and
we
how,
knew we were gonna get that payoff.
Yeah.
and how he finally got to like
you
be
can't
a
exit the movie
grandfather
without her
from
ever getting her
above,
redemption.
beyond the grave or
Yeah.
something,
Right.
like helping her fix the thing, even though he's like kind of just a lamp.
Yeah, he's just
He's a
lamp.
lamp. He's a lamp. I mean,
And I'm like, that was nice,
and
but
she
it
puts
still
the toy,
doesn't
and she
make
puts
any
a little
sense.
toy down too before she slides down the pole. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's me, if I'm
Yeah.
not
Put it in your
following
back
this
pocket
thing,
or hold
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
it.
I'm keeping this thing with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that I
Hold on
caught.
to it
I
when you slide
caught
down
that.
the
I was
pole.
like,
She
puts it down,
wait,
slides
why
down the
did
pole,
she
just
put it
walks around
down?
like, doo-doo-doo.
That didn't
What
make
did
any
you
sense.
think? What's going on?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense because she didn't know it was down there. So why would you just
Yeah.
put it
Yeah.
down? That didn't make any sense.
Again, certain technicalities, I was like, I'm not buying it. That sucked. That was bad. But then that was followed up with
But
that's
it was
very
fun.
nostalgic. It was fun.
But
It
it
was
was
whimsical.
fun.
It was quirky. I like
Yeah.
the dynamic between Paul Rudd and them. Like that was
Right,
funny.
right,
Like
right.
I like the dynamic between the little kid and her. Like
Yeah.
I like the back and forth.
Yes.
So I feel like that kind of saved it.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
For me,
that
at
kind of
least.
that part of the writing was like really well done. I was
Right.
like, oh my
And-
god,
and that's
because
what made
everyone
me
had
go,
such
yeah,
an
kinda,
interesting relationship.
Right. And that's kind of what made me go. It was good because if it wasn't there, I'd be like.
Yeah. If it
It
didn't have
lost-
the
it
But it
lost-
was
nostalgia in
there.
it,
It was there. That's what the
if it
thing
did
is.
have the
It had a lot of
nostalgia in it,
spots
it
that
would
could have
definitely-
lost me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also kind of waiting for me to get lost. Like I was like, oh no. I was waiting for me to go, this is not good.
But it did. It definitely had enough nostalgia in it to keep you going.
Yeah.
Right.
To look for the next part. To
Yep.
look for the Nestle Crunch coming out of his pocket. To look
Yes.
for the Twinkie in the glove compartment.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, who are you gonna call? That
That
was
was-
my favorite
oh
part.
my God, I
Because
love
I'm
that
sitting
so
there and
much.
Three,
I'm
two,
so
three seats
happy
over to my
that
left
was
here.
I was like,
not
let's
a
go.
fan of
Oh
who
my
you're
God.
gonna
It's
call.
not that I'm not a fan.
That
but
was
it was like,
so funny.
That was like Cheese Factor times 10.
It
And
is
something-
because
something-
it was part of their
something-
commercial, but then
Right.
he says it.
Yeah.
But I
Although-
didn't like the song when it first came out because
No.
it was a clear ripoff of Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Clear as day. That's before your time.
No, I know
Oh.
Huey
Oh.
Lewis. I know
Oh.
Huey Lewis.
Oh, you know
I
Huey
like
Lewis.
Huey Lewis actually.
Oh.
Yeah, he lives
The
in the
Ghostbusters
news.
song is like a clear ripoff of.
We were finding things about Mila that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
I know,
Fun
right?
fact.
Fun fact.
I listened to
Got a new
music.
gun. Yeah. So
Also,
I
fun
didn't
fact,
the
I like
song.
cheese. I love the cheese.
You like the
It's
cheese
my favorite
factor?
thing ever.
You like the who you're gonna call? Was you a
I
fan of
loved
that?
it. I was like, let's go.
I was
Oh my
indifferent.
God.
I'm like, okay. I guess they had to
it
throw
was
it
just
in there.
so like you
I
knew what was
love
happening, and I
cheesy
saw the
stuff
setup.
like
She's gonna
that.
go grab the phone and pull. No,
The fact that they were bold enough to actually say that.
Yeah, they
I love that
definitely-
so much. Because they could have, because you're not expecting them to actually genuinely legit just say that in
Yeah.
that
no,
movie.
I absolutely
or like
was.
maybe
I was
like,
waiting for it.
or
I
like
didn't know
maybe in
when.
the ad, like, who are you gonna call? Like Ghostbusters or play the song. But the guy goes, who are you gonna call?
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God. I love cheesy stuff like that.
So what did you think of the fact that, like, you know, this girl is, however old, she's like 12, she's supposed to be 12,
12.
right?
She was 12.
She's 12, and mom is so despondent about her father that she's never told her who her grandfather was. Like, she had to find
Yeah.
out this way that her grandfather was a Ghostbuster, massively famous back in the 80s, obviously, but knew nothing about him.
And then I'm trying to think of like the line, right? Like the family line, because Egon and Jenny, they had a thing. So
But it wasn't them.
But it was-
Yeah.
Because
right.
if you remember at the end of 2, she gets with Rick Moranis.
Oh,
And
that's
they have
right.
their
No,
little, remember they're on the
that's
couch kissing
right,
and stuff like
that's
that.
yeah,
right.
So she actually
I
ends
wasn't
up
a
with
huge
him.
fan of
So
the fact that we
that's-
got like no backstory for
backstory as to
the
how-
family tree. I was like,
Yes.
wait, who are
That
you?
is one thing that definitely bothered me. Like, I don't know if maybe it would make the movie longer, but I still feel like that's missing. We have no
Yeah.
idea who he ended up
That
with.
could have easily
to
been
have the
handled in like a
daughter.
quick,
I mean, not
quick
that it
conversation.
really matters. I think like who
Yeah.
we got with.
No,
All we
it
need to know is
doesn't,
okay,
but
like he
because
got
we knew
married.
he was with
But
Janine, and
they
then that didn't work
right,
out.
But they didn't like hint around to it like at all.
Well, because there was no backstory. Like Ray told us about how
Yeah.
he broke and took everything and just went off.
Yeah.
But he didn't mention anything about the fact that he had a wife or somebody of his
Yeah.
wife or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
had,
yeah.
had a kid without. Who knows? We don't know. We know nothing about how who he was with. He was the one of the biggest geniuses and geeks that everybody
Yeah.
stayed away from.
Right.
Like Janine was like the one. You know what I mean? She was like his nerd partner, but he didn't end up with her. So who could he have possibly been with to have this
Well,
kid?
it
And
was
then-
how many years since Ghostbusters came out?
It was
30?
84.
Well, you know
So-
what? In 30 years, I think he might have found someone.
But
And
who? We don't find out. We don't know.
Well, we're probably not going to find out,
No, we're
honestly.
not gonna find out.
So, and then this is one of the things that kind of blew my mind a little bit. They're inside this little cave. They got these dates and all these these crazy things are happening on this date and this date and this date, and they have 1984 in New York.
What was next?
Yeah.
Is that are they including part 1 and part 2? Because not for nothing, in part 2, the Statue of Liberty is walking.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we were talking
about
yeah,
that
I was,
earlier
yeah.
today.
Okay,
Yeah, so there wasn't the same, but I think so. What I think was, this is only my guess, is that those numbers on the wall had strictly to do with Gozer. It was when
Yeah.
Gozer was trying
Okay.
to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
back.
yeah.
But
Because
in part 2 has nothing to do with
yeah,
Gozer.
I was
Gotcha.
going to assume
Okay.
that it was kind of a completely different entity.
Yeah, I think those occurrences that they were talking about were Gozer.
Well, it was go.
occurrences.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
done. Thank you. I
No
appreciate
problem.
that.
That
I was
was
like,
just my take
ooh,
on
what's
it,
the
but I
next
could be
year
wrong.
looking like? But they didn't pan over far
Not
enough. I was
enough.
like,
Well, no, we saw
ah.
2021.
I saw
But there was
2.
20 something.
Yeah,
There
then there was
another
like 20 something, and I was like,
Yeah, you couldn't see the rest.
Phew.
You couldn't see the rest.
You got me.
Yeah. I didn't look at it. I
Can't,
didn't.
just
I
enough.
don't remember the numbers. I'm sure you can probably find it online. But I didn't look at the numbers.
1945. What
Yeah,
didn't
it was like
happen?
it was like 1908, I think, something like that. So what was
yeah,
the number?
18
Was it an even?
something.
Wasn't an even number
it-
between?
And
I
it
don't know,
wasn't a
mathematics.
noticeable different.
Was
Like,
there a
figure-
pattern?
I mean,
was it like every 30
pattern.
years, every you know what I mean?
it didn't look
Well,
like
84
it, I
to
don't think.
21. What's that?
Oh yeah.
Because we know what this. I mean,
Yeah, I'm horrible at math. Don't ask me. I'll tell you 5, and then I'll just move on. with my
5
day.
sounds like
Oh,
a great
19.
number.
What was it? 1912 or something to 1945?
I thought it was
3.
1908.
Well, between 84 and 21 is 37 years. So I don't know. I mean, we'd have to probably like look at every year. and-
Right, if that's what I'm saying. I don't
Because-
remember what the previous numbers were. Was it 37 years every time, or is it just completely random? I
It's all
don't know.
Fibonacci numbers.
Well,
Nothing-
I
nothing
guess
that
we'll just
hugely
have to
matters,
wait
but
30
it's a
more
talking
years
point.
to see what happens,
I know,
I
right?
guess.
I don't
fine.
plan on being around like that. So yeah, okay. So
Play
we have
checkers or something. and
So now
while we're
the
waiting.
ghost farmer was played by Bob Gunton. So he was basically the guy who played Egon.
yeah.
We never saw his
Okay,
face.
you're right.
We
Yeah,
don't
that's-
see his
Yeah, because you have
Egon's
to have a body,
shadows.
like a body
Yeah, you
double,
gotta see who's a
Right,
fake, who's
and
trying
then
to
a face
capture-
replacement for that.
Yeah, so they put somebody in there to do the body double. But then and who knows? I mean, if you look at him online, he could look like an older. You know what I'm saying? He could look. older,
He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm
too.
sure.
Like
Yeah, he's definitely a famous actor. So what do we think? So now we put Egon back in. We have a ghost of Egon. Not just the ghostly, he's a lamp, as you said, but then you have a physical ghost of him. And you saw that kind of coming.
I was on the edge of my seat.
She's having a hard time fighting, holding the proton towards Gozer, and he puts his hands on it to support her.
And it was a nice thought. Oh,
that was a really nice.
Moment.
It was like
we had a couple of moments at the end, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of moments.
And it was a lot. So Mila and I were kind of talking about this in the car on the way back. So he's there. Obviously, there's a lot of legal. I'm sure they had to deal with, like, trying to get his face back on there, right?
Yep.
Digitally, obviously, the digitally, remapping his face.
Like, I swear it's not going to be like super cringy. I swear.
And they made him older, obviously, the beard and everything like that.
Right.
So they tried to do an original '84 version of him.
Right.
So it was an older version of him, like when he actually supposedly died in the movie. No voice.
No voice. I caught that too.
They did not talk at all.
I thought that was.
I
personally thought that was a very good idea to not have him talk because, like, I don't know, like I was also like, I was in the car talking as well, but like,
oh good. What? I was talking to myself. The ghost of Mila was sitting next to me.
No, I actually wasn't there. No, but what I was saying about it was like stuff like that. Whenever it's done. Like when they like revive someone using CGI, I was like, boy, I hope they don't mess this up because it's so easy to ruin it. It's so easy to make it like not a good enough tribute or something. It's just not. Sometimes it can just not be good or good enough.
I think so far of all the people they've done this to, that was my favorite.
Yep,
right.
Same
they
here,
did the Peter Cushing for Rogue One.
Yep, I was gonna say.
And I mean, obviously they did Carrie Fisher as well. That looked not great.
That was bad.
That was bad. That was really bad. It was not pretty. This I thought was done really well. Like it really looked like him.
I did really like this one.
I think they did a great job on it.
There was just some grinning and
it
some
wasn't
smiling.
like, it wasn't weird, weirdly cartoony.
No,
where you're like, oh god, they're gonna mess up his ghost.
It really looked like the guy because you had 3 real people standing next to him.
Yeah.
So it really looked like he blended well to me, and it was in the eyes.
Yep.
It was
definitely
totally in the eye expression.
100%.
He's got the gray hair and the beard,
but like
so
the eyes and the grin, and like his facial expression.
Yeah, but
it's all there.
But here's the thing, though. Like we tend to forget. You know that he's an actor, right? Like he was an actor, so he was in other things other than just Ghostbusters. So
I think it makes it a lot easier. It's like a face reference,
a lot of different stripes and things like that.
Not to change it too far, but did you? I'm not going to ask you. Did you see the last part of Mandalorian, the second season when Luke comes back?
No.
Oh yeah.
But I know about it. I did see like the video though.
You need to see something.
That's okay.
So he did watch something. So they defake Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
That agent,
you know what I mean? That was an amazing thing. It basically looked like they did the same thing, only better.
Yeah.
I saw that video.
In this day and age,
it is like better.
Mandalorian was recent. Like that was just last year. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like with technology,
this looked even better to me. I thought it looked more realistic. I thought it really looked like him. I mean, it really made it look like he came back to life.
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
I gotta say that. And I'm glad they didn't use his voice. They could have. You can audio sample his voice from everything he's done and put it together.
If he voices it, and I hate to do this, but do they have to pay somebody because now it's SAG, right?
Yes.
So now, and that's part of it. If they just use your image, it's X amount. If they use the voice, now you're actually
royalties,
acting.
It's
a lot of other things. So
I think when they just use your image, it might be like a one payoff. But when you do your voice acting, you get paid for every time that is seen. Like every
that's what I'm saying. It's like, here we are like, oh, that's so nice, that's great. But in actuality, it's like, well, no, they just saved a boatload of money by not having him speak.
Right, and they did. They totally saved us a lot of money, to pay off his estate, essentially, what would be his heirs, his kids or wife or whoever. So, and you would like to think it's more... You know what I mean?
More of like a touching moment, but no, in actuality, it's going, we don't want to pay you guys any money.
There's a lot there.
We're just going to keep them quiet, and that'll be an artistic choice.
Right.
Not a bank choice. It wasn't a wallet choice. It was an artistic choice.
Artistic,
But even though, most likely it was a wallet choice,
I also
thought it
just
worked out well.
personally like that they didn't use his voice other than like the reasons that we just said. I also just like that they didn't use his voice because it would feel... like wrong almost to me. I'm like, because it's not. It would feel. Life. If they had him speak, it would have been forced to me.
You know what I mean?
Because I'm like.
Well, enough for nothing. I don't think you can match the voice. I mean,
like now you've just 100% replaced the actor with himself.
No, I don't know. It's
just
kind of. I think if you take samples of his
there.
voice, you're going to have to remaster the crap out of it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going
Right.
to resample it from a million different movies and things that he did, even interviews to find all the words. So basically the same
And I
thing
don't
they
doubt
did.
that they could do it.
Hello.
Right.
Basically the same thing they did with Obi-Wan, with Ben Kenobi in Phantom Menace. They used, what's his name's voice, the original actor.
Alec Guinness.
Thank you, Alec Guinness's voice. They resampled his voice to get like the Ray. Oh. Right? Because they shortened a word that he uses that has Ray in it. And they cut it and they've resampled it to make it sound like everybody's going, Ray.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
they took his-
really cool.
Yeah, he's in that
I
when
didn't
she's
know
trying
that.
to grab the lights, when she grabs the lightsaber down in Maz's place, and she sees all that imagery, and you hear everybody saying Ray. One of them is actually Alec Guinness's voice as Obi-Wan saying Ray. And it was actually him from something he said,
wow.
Ray, lightning, or whatever he might have said in
Right,
one of the
right. Whenever
movies.
he used that word.
They took it and sampled it out. So they can do the same thing. They can chip chop, all of his different audio bits that
Right,
they
and
can
then
get,
put it all together,
and put it all
sure.
together, resample it so it sounds like one.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they can just, they can put some sort of filter on it to make them sound older.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have done
Yeah, they
that.
could have done
I'm
it,
glad
yeah.
they didn't.
Yeah.
It definitely would have been very
it's
It's
yeah.
Just a Wonderful Life, kind of like, isn't this nice, a nice little, black and white 40s movie? Everybody's touchy-feeling. He's talking to them as a ghost. I thought that would have definitely pulled it into more of a cheese factor.
Yeah, for those of you
and
who've
not a
never
good
watched it or
cheese.
didn't figure that one out,
Yeah.
he's actually a ghost.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
They got the real ghost on the screen.
They got that real ghost back. So,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So, yeah, I mean, that was, and I liked that they ended it with, for Harold. I thought that was really
I thought
Yes,
that was great.
that was very nice.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I gotta tell you, I almost teared up. I gotta tell you a little
Yeah.
bit, not just at that point, but like when he's with her, with the
That-
granddaughter.
oh yeah,
and
the
his
touching.
daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like when they were
that
hugging.
it
When
was
they were
really
hugging,
nice.
Yeah.
that definitely
Yeah.
got to me.
You know
I gotta
that's
say.
the
I got
I'm
that
a
nice
sentimental
flutter in
fool.
my heart. I'm like,
I'm a sentimental
yeah.
nutcase when it comes to stuff like that.
Yep.
I'll be the first one to tell you. I'll cry easy. I do. As my wife.
Drop a hat.
I do. I really do.
Oh, wow.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've come
It's
to
all
terms
right.
with
We
it.
all have feelings.
I didn't have feelings until a
sometimes
little
it's
while
nice
ago.
to let them out, you know? So you just gotta
Sometimes
let-
it's keep them to your damn self. So,
Yeah, too much.
Definitely. All right, talk to me. So what else do we like about the movie? Let's keep on that trail because we can still pick it apart all day.
I liked the action of it. I thought it was
Lot of
like
action.
really. It wasn't just like action for the sake. I mean, yeah, that's the point of action is to be the sake of action. But but I thought it was like really like cool. I thought it was exciting. Like them chasing the ghosts and like discovering that the car does stuff. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
The gunner seat.
They're
Like something you never
she's
saw in the original.
This is a
No.
gunner
So there's
seat.
a gunner seat. There's the little
Yeah.
remote control buggy.
I was
Like
trying to
finding
think,
all the
where did
stuff
that
that they
Talk about
didn't
the
know was
buggy in a
there.
second because that kind of bothered me.
the gun is. I feel like the toy had it, or it came out in maybe the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Probably.
Because it.
There's two cartoons.
Well, I know. I was just going to
Ghostbusters
say
and the real
Ghostbusters, right? So the Ghostbusters was done by
Ghostbusters
Hanna
cartoon
Barbera.
was ridiculous.
The real Ghostbusters is the actual cartoon of
Oh.
Venkman and all them. So the Ghostbusters consisted of two guys and an ape.
Yeah, it was.
Go look that one up.
I had the toys.
Of course you did.
Well,
Naturally.
no, my mother probably thought they were the ones I wanted.
Probably she was like, I
Is
don't
that
know,
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters.
What
Yeah.
does she know?
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
What
It
is
was
this
a
supposed
big
to be?
licensing thing too.
Yeah, it was-
I remember
it was crazy.
actually following up, but I did watch that cartoon as well.
Yep.
But I remember I think it had something to do with the toy from the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Maybe.
Because I do remember it having a gunner seat, but never in a movie.
It was never in the
it was
movie.
never in the
It
movies,
was
but
never
I
in the
do
movie.
remember it
That's
being there.
too much money
so-
in the budget.
Yeah,
that they don't have.
That's an extra bit of like tooling to,
Yeah.
to make that work and pop out. So like, forget it.
Especially 1986.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
was like the
God.
80s. No chance.
Yeah, because
No
I remember
dice.
like back in the 80s and the toys that they had that were like super expensive, but now it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a USS Flag was like $110, something like that. It was cheap. Now that thing would be way more than, I mean, obviously the original ones are, but even if
Right.
they produce something like that now,
Yeah,
they would be
that
charging
just-
you way more than $110 for something that big.
The toys now are they're just stupidly expensive.
They're crazy.
I mean,
They're crazy.
again, tangent. I went to right before my wedding. I went to go get my best man, which is my cousin. He loves Legos, so I bought him like the Porsche Lego kit.
Yeah.
And that came to like $100 and something dollars. But while I was there, I was looking at the other Legos. They had the two 2.5 feet tall R2-D2 for like $500. I'm like,
it's
these are
crazy.
Legos.
They're
like
insane.
at the end of the day, like, they have the huge
basically
Millennium
they're not
Falcon.
for kids.
Oh my, no, it's not.
They're not. They're for collectors and
Right.
older collectors.
Older
you know what I
collectors,
mean?
right.
Who have $500 to drop down on a Millennium Falcon. Absolutely, I've seen them.
Yeah.
I love them. I deal with them all the time. I love Lego, but they're way too much money.
Yeah, I walk by and go, that's really
money.
cool. I'll see it somewhere else.
Yes, yes.
It'd be nice if it was, displayed.
I'll watch a
rather than
YouTube
that.
video of somebody putting it together. That would
Yeah.
be fine. A time lapse version of somebody putting it together.
I look a picture of it fully put together and enjoy it.
So we're saying the car probably had the gunner seat from the toy. I think you're right. I think I remember something about that.
Yeah.
The RC car. I'm gonna talk about that quick. So to bump into something else, the RC car was way too fast for any RC car on this planet, and the battery life on that son of a bitch was way longer. Those things do not have that kind of battery life to tool around town for as long as that thing was driving all the way to the mountain.
That
they made it
that
all
fast
the way to the
for
mountain.
that long.
No
I think it was
RC
going
car
faster
on the
than the
planet.
actual car.
It was.
Yes,
it
it was
was.
ahead of the car.
It was
It would've got
going like
crushed.
what, 70 or something? Like it sped
At
up,
least.
and then you see the RC car go in front of it.
We
and
don't know
speed up
when
ahead
he
of it. I'm
made
like,
that,
what?
when that was made, but it was
was
in
just
the
there.
car, but we had it. So
I like to think it was powered by the
It was
ghost in order for
old.
me to not break down.
So also,
The battery on it was already charged, by the way.
obviously,
Immediately, as soon as they needed it, it was already charged.
the battery must have been charged.
I owned RC cars when I was younger. Those things never worked.
No.
Never. Anytime you want to go play with it, you had to charge the battery first. Like,
And
I don't want to play with this tomorrow.
obviously the
I'm gonna
gas
charge
tank.
the battery
And
tonight.
obviously the gas tank was full
Yes.
because
Yes.
it
Right.
started.
Yeah, because they have little. Yeah,
And
you mean
then
the car?
Oh,
the
yeah.
actual car.
So even RC cars, there are some that have gas tanks in them.
yeah, those-
they work on it. They
Yep.
charge and they use
Yep,
gas.
Yep. No, but the actual
don't
Yeah,
last
but
that
like the
long
car
and they
car,
don't
the
go that
Ghostbuster
fast.
car.
the actual Ecto 1 that's been sitting in the barn for God knows how long, because I don't think Egon was
seem like he
tooling
was
around.
using it. No, because
No.
it was a lot
Yeah.
of work.
So why
Because
would-
Trevor, the 15-year-old, knew how to fix it. By the way,
Right.
Yes.
Which is
Did we
awesome.
notice that?
15-year-old kid knows exactly what to do.
knew how to fix the car to make it work.
Except for like the one little
One little wire
starter.
that
I mean,
Egon
the
had to
that
twist
Egon
back
had
to-
to,
twist
right.
back to the other for.
Although the thing is, he could have been working on it off screen. He could have filled the tank or something, so we wouldn't have to, watch
But it
him
didn't
fill
look like
the
he was.
tank.
But he didn't look like he was working on it because when Trevor went
I
to
think
go
it
get
looked like
he
it
was-
left.
Yeah, Trevor had to fix it. It wasn't working.
No, yeah, that's
So
what I'm saying.
why
Is
would it-
like
yeah.
Trevor must have fixed it off camera or something.
No, he was fixing it on camera.
Yeah, but I
Well,
think
also
what Mila's
off
saying
camera,
is off
because there
camera.
had to be
No,
a
I know, I
few
get what
more
you're saying,
repairs
but-
than just
but
that.
He went. Where did the gas come from?
That's what I'm saying. Off camera, he went, got
he
gas,
filled
put
the
it in the
tank.
car.
Yeah,
He
and
filled
I
a
don't-
little
You can get the
5-gallon.
red
So when you have
canister
something like
and
that,
fill it
I
with-
don't watch movies between scenes. If you want me to believe it, you got to put it on screen. You want me to know that guard that's been sitting there forever.
See, that's
has
where I'm
gas,
safe.
you
I'm
gotta see it,
safe with like assuming because I'm like, look, I'm not gonna watch this 15-year-old take up time by fixing this car that I don't really like.
But it had to
Like
be
I like
fixed.
the car, I care about the car, but like we could be doing other things than watching this
So
kid
it
fix
would
his
have been.
car.
I think to go to your point, I think it would have been better off served if the car just worked. Like when he got
Yeah.
like how
Which-
Egon had it there.
Right.
He obviously drove
Yeah.
it there.
Yep.
It worked
Yeah.
when he got it there. Why did it not all of a sudden stop working while he was there?
I mean, enough.
Yeah.
The movie opens up with Egon in a vehicle, not Ecto 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just chilling.
It was just
It was
chilling.
literally just
Yeah.
chilling,
Just chilling.
in the barn.
So how did it
It
stop
probably
working?
just automatically it
just-
already
it
wasn't
seemed
working
like-
because of something
It seemed like
that happened.
a trope for Trevor to know how to fix a car that we didn't need.
yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
don't really need to know
Yeah,
this
that
kid can
did
fix a
it
car.
did feel
It
kind
doesn't
of
have any
like
payoff
that.
later on.
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how to
And
drive.
it's not like he
Supposedly doesn't
goes,
know how to drive. He can't pass
yes,
the
I
driver's
fixed
test.
it. He's just like, oh man,
Yeah, he just
the
got it to work.
starter.
He didn't even get it to work. Like Egon still had to help him. And that was to me that was the only part of it was so that Egon could help him too.
Yeah.
By fixing
Yeah.
the one wire,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
twisting
Yeah.
the one wire together. Like that was the only reason, and not necessary.
No.
There was enough of him moving lamps and doing things to help out. You know what I mean? Like turning lights on
is
for
it-
her.
is it
things
that-
like
what's
playing
that?
chess.
Because they're like,
Is
oh
that
no,
Pixar?
wait, I have
That's-
two
yeah, it
grandchildren.
was Luke Luxo. Yeah,
He's like, oh no, I have two grandchildren.
I gotta do
do something for this
something.
other waste of
Here,
space.
I'll fix
Let's
the
see.
car for you.
Come here, little guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do something
hey,
for this
hey,
bag of skin.
sport, hey, champ.
Hey, let's fix this wire for you. Hey, roll it in there, fix that wire for you that you forgot.
But yeah, I mean, like you were saying though, the little RC car doing 70 miles an
7
hour.
miles an
like-
hour with
so
the
funny.
longest battery
Enough of
gas
nothing.
Like,
life.
what is that thing?
Wow.
Was it rocket
Okay,
powered?
so hold
Man,
on.
they were good at driving. Did you ever own an RC car? Those
Yeah.
things flip like a bastard.
That thing's not taking turns
One
like that.
corner, those things are gone.
And-
It's a barrel roll like you've never seen.
Yeah. So, and here's another thing too. She uses the photon. I kind of get on it. I'm like, all right, fine. She knows how to use it. Fine.
Well, she's a
get the-
scientist.
Well, yeah, that's what happens.
12.
12.
12-year-old
Yeah,
size.
she's really good.
Who knows all about seismology?
Awesome. She hits the
She
ghost.
could be genius level because she was Egon's
Yeah.
granddaughter. I got
Yeah,
that.
she's
Fair
very
enough.
smart.
She's
IQ.
wicked smart.
Yeah.
High IQ. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
She hits the ghost.
Just
They got the
Sheldon
ghost.
of this universe.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They hit the ghost with the laser, right? The ghost keeps going. They keep going. If they just stopped moving,
It should stop.
it should stop.
It's supposed to control them.
Right. So why didn't they just stop?
They probably didn't know
They
that.
didn't know that.
Oh,
They
but
didn't know
whoa,
that.
wait a
Chasing
minute.
it.
But yet they know how to fix all these things and use the photon and they know everything else, but they can't figure
That
out.
part
Hey,
was
let's
not
just
in the
stop.
God forbid you try to stop the car.
Stop
That
the
was
car.
not in the manual.
Stop the car.
Yes.
You saw. I don't like fishing, but I know that once I cast my reel and I catch, I pull back and I just stay right there. The fish isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You
I
start
grab
going in the
you-
water, swimming after it.
You don't just let the reel keep going out so fish can swim
Well,
away?
depending on what kind of fish, I guess that's how you actually go for like marlin fish because it tires themselves out.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to. I don't know, something about the
I
meat.
think my
but
wife
that's,
does that to me.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
But yeah, I mean that really bothered me. I'm looking up at the screen. I'm going, just stop the car. Stop the car. Please stop the car. Can
Just
somebody please stop the
just
car?
stop the car. Bring it all the way to the
Somebody
mountain.
stop them so I can stop
But
the
it broke
car.
out. Remember, it broke out.
Well, yeah, because
taking
they didn't
forever.
stop the car. If you
finally
just stop the
broke
car,
out.
the ghost
Yeah.
stays there. You hit the thing. The doors open up. It sucks into it.
But at
Done.
one point, it literally like ripped itself out.
Right, because it took too long because
Yeah.
he couldn't open it in time
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying though, if they
the only
once they
real
caught
character
We don't
that's
know
like,
the
how do you
science.
work this stuff?
But we don't know the science.
She's like,
behind
hurry
that
up,
as
and
to
he goes, I
why,
can't.
If it's caught it, why is it able to work itself out?
because I think it took too long.
No,
Yeah,
but
it did.
why
It
does
did
that
just
matter?
take too long.
But why does that matter? It's a ghost and it's protons. Like, why does it matter? Does it degrade? Does the beam degrade
Maybe.
over time? Where it becomes
It's kind of
less
like, it feels
strong?
more like a rope or something.
Becomes
That it's
weaker?
like, oh man, you've caught me in this rope, and then you use that time to put it in there. But then sometimes they have the ability to go, oh, it's a rope, and they just try to like, I don't know,
Maybe it runs
get
out of
it,
gas.
untangle
Wiggle
it,
itself
eat
out of
it
the
out
rope.
of there. or
Maybe it
something.
runs out of
Wiggled
maybe
itself
the.
out of the proton rope.
Well,
The
maybe.
ghost,
Yeah, it's
the
a
ghost
ghost.
did, yes.
And
Yeah,
if
but
it's
it
a ghost, why
traps the
can't it just
ghost.
go through things? Why does
Because of its protons.
because it's
It
proton.
reacts to the ghost, whatever its form. Just like
Yeah.
the originals did,
That's
right?
right, that's right.
So the form.
Yeah.
So that's my point. Is it's electrons, it's protons, it's proton pack. It's shooting it out. What is the shelf life on it? What's the afterlife on a proton?
Well, maybe that's
you know
what
I
it
mean?
is.
Like,
It's
it's
Yeah.
3
only good
minutes.
for
It's 3
it's only
minutes.
good
It's
for
like-
20,
it's
30
like,
seconds,
you know,
whatever it is, and then after
starts,
that
like,
it's like
weakening.
Weaker. That's
Yeah.
why they need others. That's why they
Yeah.
all have to hit it.
that's why they all have to hit them at the same
Yeah.
time. So yeah, but again,
You can make a case for that.
if they just but again, if they just stopped,
Stop the car.
Stop the car.
Stop the car.
And you don't have to
Little
use all that
RC
battery
button
for the
get
RC.
caught up,
Yeah.
and just done.
hit the button. Also, when they go into the bridge, did you
Stupid
catch?
geniuses.
My God. Did you
what?
catch that when they were going on the bridge? I mean, when they're going towards the mountain, the bridge. She goes, bridge, bridge, bridge. She slides in. The door got hit.
Yeah.
That very next scene, the door's
It
closed.
closed. I watched it close.
What's
I
wrong
actually,
with that?
it was like this.
Other than we
I
didn't see it actually
I did
close.
see that. It
Well, no,
looked
because
like,
you got it smashed.
It looked like
No.
the door had the.
No,
yeah, no,
the door
it
didn't get smashed.
Yeah,
What's
it
smashed
has the
against-
ability to
what-
open
Nothing.
that wide.
It does. Remember,
Yeah.
the door
Right.
opens completely flat against the
Yeah.
car.
So then it opened
So
completely
it
flat,
opens
and then when
sideways.
they
It doesn't
drove
open
in,
just
it
sideways.
was, they were able
literally
to close
swings
it.
all the way open. It hits
Yeah.
the back bumper, like the
Yeah.
back quarter panel.
Yeah, the door could close.
Because that way the person in the gunner seat can face either direction.
All right.
At one point, she could face
Yeah.
backwards.
'Cause I did see
it.
Rear
Then-
of the
then
car
they
or
drove
front.
past
Then they drove
it,
past
then
it, and
they
the door,
did close
the
the
door's
door.
actually shut. That's
Yeah.
what threw me
Yeah.
off. So, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
go with that. The
Yeah.
door went all the
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
open.
Because I
During
was
the
because I
definitely
did
hit
notice
it.
that. That's why
In
I'm.
the
That's why I'm
town.
on like what you're thinking. I was
No,
like,
yeah. In
because
the
I did catch
town,
that. I was
when
like,
they're driving around,
no
you can see
way.
the door opens all the way.
Yeah.
Before they ever
Yeah.
get near the bridge,
Yeah.
the door flattens
Okay.
all completely.
Okay. So then
Yeah.
when the door hits the bridge, it's like a double hinge.
Because
it goes flat.
remember one
Yeah.
thing: when she pops out of the car, she's facing backwards. She has to then turn around to face the front. She pops out in that seat for whatever reason. There's two seats; they're facing each other. She's facing the rear of the car in that seat.
Oh, yeah, that's
She
right.
pops- And the door flaps out open.
Yeah.
And she flips around and faces
flips
the
around,
front.
yep.
But basically, the door can flap all the way out. That way, when she pops out facing the rear, she can fire to the rear too. In case
Gotcha.
The ghost is chasing them. They're
Yeah.
not chasing the ghost. Yeah.
Okay.
So the door opens flat. I know.
And that's how they wrote that one off.
Yeah.
All right,
That
fair
is
enough.
exactly what they wrote down. Yes, because by logical standpoints, when it hit that bridge, the door should have gone flying.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Should've
because
ripped
I was
the door
waiting
right
for
off
that.
the
I was like,
hinges
oh no,
and-
the
yeah, you're
Ghostbuster
waiting
car
for the
door,
door to
and then I was
fly
like,
off,
oh
yeah.
yeah, wait, never mind.
Right. And then the next they show the side of the door, and I'm like, it's shut.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, no, it flattens out completely.
Yeah.
That was
Right, that was an easy write-off. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
no problem. Just trying to fix some things in your
Always
brain, just
here.
helping you out.
Always
Right?
here.
Yeah, but that's what the brain does, though. Like when I'm
Yeah.
watching these movies, I'm like,
Yo, wait a minute.
Yes, because
Yeah.
we're trying to find that sense of realism in a obviously very unrealistic movie. Like you need something. This is my take on when you do things like this in the movie because I do it all the time. Clearly, Batman. And you just look at these things.
One day we'll go to a podcast and you won't bring up Batman and how I don't think it's that bad a movie.
So the point is, stop calling it a Batmobile. So the point is,
It is,
you bump
but
up
that's beside
against
the
these
point.
things
It's
because the
not.
movies are so unrealistic.
It is.
You need some sort of anchor to realism, right? Even in these very unrealistic
Yep.
movies, you need
Yep.
something to anchor
and
you in.
unless-
Even if it's like a fantasy world, you need realistic reactions to
Yes.
things.
well, here's
'cause it
here's the
needs to do
thing.
it. Yeah.
I mean, when you watch, like for me, when you watch a fantasy movie, it's a fantasy movie. There are no rules.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, we saw Atreyu in Before Your Time.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen that?
Never Ending
seen what?
Story?
Never Ending
Seen what?
Story.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, I love that
That's
movie.
great.
Okay, so it's like that whole
Yeah.
movie. It's what from beginning to end. It's all fantasy.
Yeah.
Granted, you're with the kid going, just say her name. My God, just say her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a fantasy movie, so you don't need. Like,
But I'm
for
okay
me,
with that because
Right.
90% of the movie is in a fantasy world.
In a fantasy world, right? There's no
In
rules.
his,
but when we have, that's what I'm saying.
In the real world,
you need to have real rules.
But when in the real world, the rules were fine. He was okay. But the fantasy ones were fantasy because you could do anything the hell
Yeah,
they
you can do
want.
whatever you want, right.
Obviously, it just gets a little crazy when Falcor is now in our world, flying around, chasing after the bullies.
Yeah.
That's when it gets a little like, what the hell just happened?
Great
How did we-
imagination.
how did we jump the shark on that one? And just all of a sudden, we're in our world. But yeah. You okay over there?
Yeah.
All right, fine. So we're moving forward. Awesome. All right, and the mom. What do we think of her?
I was like, she's all right.
Carrie Coon played Callie.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. I thought their family dynamic was very interesting. Like it was.
Yes.
I was like, because I'm not here to go, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. But I was like, huh. What an interesting way to run your like just have the family be. And they're like, they love each other. And I'm like, all right, that's chill.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. Very like super casual.
I think
with
the
each
one
other.
part of their family dynamic that bumped me, and maybe because I have a kid now or I teach kids, is when the mom and they kept saying to each other, "Don't be yourself."
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. Like,
I was
but
like-
I understand why they did it. Like
Yeah.
I get that. I get it was comedic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for a kid to watch that or people to watch that, it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
a great
I see.
sentiment.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Teach
yeah.
kids, it's like,
Yeah, I
don't be
wasn't-
who you are.
Yeah.
When the reality is the message should be exactly who you are. Be the nerd scientist kid. If people like you, they're gonna like you. And
Right, but I
clearly
think,
you
but I
found
think that that's
podcast.
the family dynamic between them, and it's
Yeah.
like it was kind of like a tongue in cheek, haha.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see where you come from.
But
like,
the younger kids might not get that.
yeah, they look at it and go,
They
wait a minute, what?
just
What
tell
message?
the kid not to be yourself. Like that's gonna cause a lot of issues.
Right.
Like we have enough of that issue in this world where kids try not to be themselves because they think they're gonna get bullied or they're not
Yeah.
good enough,
Right.
so they don't have friends because of who they are.
Right.
And the reality is, she found a friend. She found a podcast.
I love that kid.
What do we think of
Podcast.
Logan Kim as podcast?
I thought he was fantastic. Was he in a? I think I saw him in a show's like Fresh Off the Boat or something.
Oh yeah. You know what? Look it up. Look it up. I have him right here on the IMDb.
But I thought he was so funny.
no.
No. Okay.
He's been in nothing.
He's been
Oh.
in nothing.
This is first. He did really good. Wow.
he was
Literally, the first thing he did was he played the grandson in the home movie, The Princess Bride.
I guess it was a miniseries, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's it. So he's
Oh,
a
you
new
know
one
what
to
they
I
the
thought it was
did?
screen.
phenomenal.
You know
I
what
thought
they
he was
just-
so
I know it's a
funny.
tangent, but I think if I'm looking at it correctly, the original people, Rob Ryan, because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown,
Yeah.
they literally like recreated the movie in their own homes, and they pieced it all together. But some of the original cast is there, but some of them are not, right? Like so it's really, well, actually mostly it's not. But Rob Reiner played the grandfather. They did this whole movie thing that Finn Wolfhard was in it. He played Inigo Montoya. Seth Rogen was Miracle Max. They did all these like actors like redid this movie essentially, but it was literally a whole movie where they've been doing play costumes and things like that to recreate the original Princess Bride movie.
Okay.
It was something to do during the pandemic. Like they literally just put it together. It was kind of cool. I actually did see it. It was kind of, I saw parts of it on the YouTube or whatever. It was actually kind of fun. It was fun. So he played the grandson.
Gotcha.
And that was literally the first thing he did, and now it's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So long story career, and he's doing all right. But
but
to
yeah,
go
no,
from
he
that
was-
to Ghostbusters, it's a pretty
And
good
he was
jump.
good. I liked
Yeah.
him. I thought he was
I
loved him.
funny.
I thought
he
he
was
was
the
so
data of our
funny.
group. He
Yes.
was a Goonies reference. He was the data of our group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was Goonies.
Peaches a Pal?
was a
Data
movie
okay?
in the 80s.
Oh, right.
It's okay.
I have the DVD. I'm gonna watch it soon.
Soon.
She's not watched Goonies.
God.
Right.
It was on, and I was probably doing homework, and I was
Gotcha.
not. I wasn't the one watching it.
Gotcha.
I was doing other things.
Data fall down holes
I
asking
will
how
see it.
Data doing.
All right.
Eventually.
Fine. So yeah.
Eventually.
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 It's like one of the benchmark movies too.
I mean, it's,
Look, there's so many benchmark movies. I'm trying to watch them.
get to it. Get to it.
I've been trying.
Yeah. So
take a
all
week
right.
off of
So
school.
aftermath of everybody, seeing what they did. Right. Ray is still at the occult bookstore, which he was in during the second one.
Yep.
Before they pulled him back in to,
Yep.
to Ghostbusters, he was at there. Let's talk about the aftermath, where everybody was in their time.
Peter went back to academia. He was
Yep.
doing marketing, which I
Yeah.
thought was perfect. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marketing and advertising. I thought that was good. Obviously, Winston had the biggest success story.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
That was kind of like everybody's kind of says like that was his moment because he was sort of the last one on, right?
Yep.
He was the last one on. He was kind of like the grunt, if you will. Put the traps down there, clean the car guy.
Yep.
And now he's like the guy. He's the rich guy who's making it all happen.
Yep, 'cause he
He's
bought all the
paying
property, whatever,
He's paying
and-
Ray's rent.
Yep.
What did they say he was? I thought they said he was an actor, but he was a
yeah,
I thought she said he was an actor or somewhere, but not just a businessman. But he's a businessman who has lots of money and is buying up property. So he owns. So did she lie? Am I thinking wrong? Because Annie Potts said he was a businessman, this person, actor, whatever, and bought
all the property, so
including the original firehouse, which is now a Starbucks. It's not a Starbucks.
it's not a Starbucks because we see it.
You see it at the end, and he pulls the Ecto 1, and he's going to bring it back to life, essentially.
I think that's actually a play on reality. I think that building.
No, it's still there.
Is it still there?
Yeah, the fire. I just watched the special. The fire. In fact, they did a news station had an interview with the three of them and her, the girl McKenna Grace, from the firehouse.
Oh, okay.
It's still an active firehouse.
And
the guys were there. Like all the guys were there. Like all the firefighters and stuff like that were in the behind all the cameras and lights. It was actually pretty cool.
Well, then
they pulled one of the guys out. Like they were like, "Who's the sexiest of you?" And he's like, and I want to say it was it wasn't Bill Murray. Was it Dan Aykroyd? One of them pulled like one of the firefighters out. Like, this is the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Like that. Yeah, so it was a really cool interview with the four of them.
Well, then I'm guessing
From
that
the
she
firehouse.
I'm guessing that she just lied.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Because we see it at the
That's
end.
weird.
I was
we see
fine with it. Like if that's what it became, I thought it was kind of like, yeah, that's normal.
Right.
Like, everything that goes away, and then there's Starbucks now. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
get
that's
it. It's
believable
It's been
in, like,
37
real world.
years. They're not doing it anymore.
Right.
So somebody bought it up and made it a Starbucks. That makes total sense. But why lie about it? If you know what I mean, other than the fact just to hide the fact that he owns it and he's doing something with it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something that he, Winston was just like, hey, I want to keep this under wraps. Don't tell anybody that, because clearly she knows because we see her in the office with him, and which I like to say that they left it open.
Yeah.
I think that, which I wouldn't necessarily mind, as long as I'm not a fan of reboots and remakes. I like continuation of story.
Right.
If they at the end of this they open it up that you can have now, let's say you want to do another one, a part 2
Right.
of this, or just a whole new Ghostbusters world, with these 4 kids now, right? Or maybe they get a little bit older. Who knows? I don't know. But I think
Strong
that they
enough to
could,
hold a proton pack.
clearly, she must be on the juice or something.
Exactly. So, Mila, you have to leave early?
Yeah, I got a jet.
Okay, you take off. Thank you, Mila.
Yeah, you guys keep going.
Bye,
We'll keep it
Mila.
up.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem. Glad you liked it.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, like I don't mind the continuation of it. I like how they left that open, know, and I'm good with that. Again, I had said I don't like remakes. I don't like reboots.
Right.
I hate them actually. I hate remakes because come up with something better. Like come up with your own ideas. And I don't like reboots, especially the fact of doing a reboot just to do a reboot.
Yes.
Because
I
to
get
push
the idea.
a certain idea.
I understand why you got to do it. Obviously, it's Hollywood. It's the machine. It's a known quantity. The property is known. So, but you have to bring it for the audience now, right? Like even Mila didn't grow up watching this movie.
Right.
She's seen it, the originals, but once.
Right.
So you make a new version with actors from today. How easy it would be to bring in, because at the end of the day, what's it all about? especially a movie like this, it's about selling the toys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a ton of toys now for this movie with actors like Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, that everybody knows today.
Sure. And then you got Paul
So
Rudd
the kids aren't going to know Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray as well as they know a Finn Wolfhard now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're not looking for that Ray Stantz action figure as much. You and I would if we're collecting, if we're collectors, and collecting sort of stuff. Right. We absolutely would. But the kids who are going to go to Target and buy the toys aren't going to look for that.
But I get that aspect of it, and I think that this was a great combination of old and new because you have people that are our age that remembered it. We bring some of the younger people with us to go, oh my God, I remember this movie when I was a kid or when I was younger or whatever. And we watch it and so we have our nostalgia.
And we have the ability to explain it to the younger people, like the Twinkie and the you know what I mean, things like that.
Twinkie was great.
You get to explain some of that stuff.
Right. So, I mean,
some kids will look at it, why the hell is that there?
Yeah. But doing a reboot, like same exact story, just changing the cast. I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why?
Money.
Why?
It all comes down to money.
Yeah.
We're rebooting it because we want to sell toys and we want to put, Chris Hemsworth in it because, he's the hottie of the day. And even though he played the goofiest, stupidest character on the planet, which I really hated.
I honestly can't lie. I watched about the first couple minutes.
Let's talk about that for a brief second. Let's take a break, talk about the reboot movie. I'm fine with it in the terms of if you got to reboot it, you want to make it, the women are now in charge. I really don't have a problem with that. It changes it enough that you're not just trying to redo the original, that you're just trying to not trying to replace Bill Murray, right? It's a totally different thing. But it had sort of but my problem with it is the shove in your face girl power. And not only do you do that, but you make Chris Hemsworth the biggest dope on the planet. In the same way, you make him the dummy, the joke.
So that's my thing about reboots.
Try to do it the other way around. Try to do that with 4 guys, and the woman is the biggest dummy on the planet. The movie never would have made it into theaters.
And that's my
test audiences.
Right. But that's the thing about that's what I don't like about reboots. Right. It's you're rebooting it for a reason to, appease the masses. Well, that I don't, and it's not that I'm against one way or the other. Just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no need for it.
But but are there any reboots that worked? I feel like there are. You know what I mean? The Karate Kid was not one of them. But
hold on though, that's not a reboot. Unless you want to go to like the 4th one.
No. The Jackie Chan, not the Jackie Chan one.
With
Will Smith, with Jaden Smith. That was a reboot, and it was atrocious.
It was atrocious,
but it was
Jackie Chan. Right, but it was I feel though that was like a completely different story almost.
But it wasn't. It was Miyagi taking care of the kid. But it was, then they go to China. The reality is, it's obviously we know it's the Kung Fu Kid. It's not karate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a generic term for martial arts.
Right.
But it's not. But people think it is. So you just make it the quote unquote Karate Kid to tie it in to the original.
Tie it into the original. Yeah. But that was a bad. Feel. Yeah. Okay. I'll jump on that as far as it being.
That was 2 hours of bad choices.
That sucked.
It was bad.
Oh God, that was bad.
Reboots can be good. Most likely they're not. Most of them are not good.
Yeah, I mean...
But the reality is that even that movie, there are people who love that movie. That's their Karate Kid. They didn't grow up in the 80s. They grew up when they were around when that movie hit them. There are people, like Mila, and I know I bang all the time, but the Christopher Nolan Batman is their Batman.
Yeah.
89 Batman, they were not alive for that. They didn't go through that nostalgia. I was 14 when it happened, whatever it was, right? 13 when that happened, right? Yeah, 76, 89. I was 13 when that happened. So, that was perfect for me. That hit me right at the right time.
Yeah.
But
I think I watched that 4 times in one
I had at that
weekend.
point turned my back on the Adam West Batman, right? But obviously, you got back in love with it after that once you realized what it was really about.
Yeah. I think
different eyes.
Like when I first watched that one though, when I watched the 89 Batman, for me it wasn't one versus the other. It was just a different other.
Right.
Because I did watch the older ones because I grew up with my uncles and aunts who did watch it. So
I used to tape them.
And at that time, we did get to watch the reruns. I think it was on Channel 38 maybe.
Yep.
So I did watch that.
Oh yeah, I used to videotape them.
So for me, it wasn't one versus the other. It was just a different.
Oh no, to me it was one versus the other. It was I turned my back on big time. This is real Batman now. This is real Batman now. And that spawned the animated show, and that spawned so much of what we have today.
Spawned a lot, yeah.
Spawned the video games of a lot of what we have today.
Yes, including the shit.
It's just doing the crap stuff where they're going to I mean, that's a character they'll constantly reboot.
Yeah.
They'll reboot that character forever. I mean, the character's been around for 90 years. I mean,
it's just like Superman.
It's just going to constantly keep rebooting for the new audience. And that's the point.
Yep.
Like, you can't just keep putting on TV or in the theaters 89 Batman. You have to reboot it for new audiences to get the fresh audience in. So Ghostbusters no different, right? When they reboot it, it's like, oh, it's a new audience. We're going to bring this property. We have this property. We own the rights to it.
Let's do something with it. It's just sitting on the shelf,
like
sure.
Spider-Man, you have to constantly, like Sony will have to keep rebooting it because if they don't, they lose the rights.
Right.
It reverts back to Marvel and Disney if they don't reboot it every few years. If they don't make a Spider-Man movie every X amount of years, they lose the
they lose
rights.
it, which I heard an interview saying that Fandango actually interviewed somebody on the Sony side of it, and they were like, oh, no, we plan on working with them for a while.
So that's what I heard. They're doing at least another 3 with Tom Holland.
Yes.
They just released that.
So
At first, he was like out of it.
Yep.
He's not doing it anymore.
Yep.
And now next day they're like, oh no, we're doing 3 more.
And it actually makes sense, like the idea that they want to do. It's like, okay, well, we saw Peter Parker in high school. Now we're going to see him a bit as going to college, and then it's going to be him as an adult.
My question with that is, and I think this is more. Everything is marketing, everything is sales, right? They had that, we're not going to see Tom Holland anymore in these movies, which I think drove the shit out of the sales for the first ticket. That was the highest grossing pre-sale ticket ever. They just pre-sold the shit, crashed websites, everything.
Yes. This is
going to be the last time you're going to see him in his own movie. And it crashes servers. Like, you know what? We thought about it again.
Wait,
the
next
next day,
3.
After you finish buying all these tickets, we'll see him 3 more.
Yeah, it's like,
and that's perfect timing.
Well, it's great because they're going to tie him into the Venomverse.
When those quote unquote, sneak trailers drop online.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You think that's not somebody inside Sony just dropping that? Just push it. We'll say it's fake and we'll pull it down tomorrow.
Yep.
Drives the machine, right? It drives that, the
feed
social
that
media.
monster.
You feed the monster. You feed that monster, and that. So I think the same thing here. I think they've fed the monster now on this new Ghostbusters. It sets up another one.
Yeah.
At the end.
Which I would.
And it was funny. We went to the theater, and there wasn't a lot of people in the theater, as we kind of knew there wouldn't be. And we were the only ones trained enough, as you said, to stay till the very end.
When we got up, I looked around, I was like, oh, we're the only
credit
ones
scene
here.
right after they said for Harold, and they cut to Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray.
Yep.
But then you had to stay till all the way at the end, and they pull into the actual firehouse with Ernie Hudson there with Winston, and that's when they pull in the Ecto-1.
Yep.
And he's like, what the hell? He's gonna take care of the Ecto-1.
Yep.
And it pushes over to the containment unit.
That's blinking.
So you're like, trying to make noise. Oh Jesus.
Yep. So I think that they are going to go with it. They probably wanted to see where this ends, right? And again, they come up with another one. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I'll see it.
I like this one enough that I want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing a second one.
Yeah. Do they bring in any of the original cast? Because you have Winston is now taking care of Ecto-1 and dealing with it. So when you go to the next one, do you need more of the original cast? Because they're not getting any younger.
Right.
And Bill Murray, out of the 3 of them, looked the oldest.
I think he is the oldest physically,
realistically, but I think he just definitely looked the oldest.
Well,
and I know I'm famous for putting people in the grave on this podcast, but I'm not trying to put him in the grave.
No, but you know what?
He's very much alive.
Yeah, but you know what though? All the Murrays are old. Like, they're all old-looking guys.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the youngest one was maybe the youngest. Well, clearly he was the youngest-looking one because he's the youngest. But like, Bill Murray's the older brother,
Ryan Doyle.
He looked old, man.
He's always looked old. He looked old in Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
He looked old in Christmas Vacation.
Right.
He's always looked older.
Old.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe that's just in their genes. But I also think that they have a lot to do with the release of Ghostbusters. I know that was part of the reason why it took so long for another movie. It's because there was a holdup with the characters. He wasn't sure
he wanted to do it.
He wasn't sure if he wanted to do it. And then Dan Aykroyd was like, well, I'm not going to put my name to it unless it's a script that I really like. And I guess
he wrote it. He helped write it with
over the years, right? So over the years, people have gone to them saying, "Hey, listen, what about this?" And he was, and I think like there was a couple of them that got greenlit, but it needed some rework and it didn't get picked up or whatever. I mean, again, with movies like this,
I'm happy where they settled. Like I'm happy. I'm very happy with what they settled on.
I think it was a good.
There's definitely some missteps that are going to be in every movie, but I think overall, it definitely worked for me.
Yeah,
the nostalgia, the movie, even the story, it worked. You want to see some a little bit tighter on the writing. On some of the things,
just a little bit though, right?
Doesn't really go that far. Maybe the buggy doesn't make it. You know what I mean?
75 miles an hour is an RC car. Wait,
the RC
what?
car doesn't quite make it. And they find a different way out. But I I like the Chandler stuff. I like that they tie it back to the original, right? They tie it back to the original with we see the mine that makes the metal that built the building in New York.
Right. And I thought that was a great tie-in. I'm like, oh.
I got to say, though, Ivo Chandler, I know Ivo Chandler, that part was a little weird for me. That the fact that his dead body's down in a glass casket down there still looks good.
Since 1945.
Good. No decay, really. Still looks like he's pretty good. Maybe that's the spirits around him, whatever.
Maybe.
When the spirits try to lift and come out, he comes back to life. He turns towards her. He's like, hey, what's up? They're like, fuck. But then, Egon had put all the proton packs basically attached to the pillars to push it back down. I thought that was great. I liked that.
I thought that was a great little thing, Yep.
That maybe is why nothing has happened, since the last time it happened, since obviously he's been.
And it also explains the quote unquote earthquakes that were happening in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I like the fact that they gave us that much. Like we understood that it could be the ghost doing it, or what I mean? It could be the main ghost, right? Ghosts are doing it, but the fact that it was Egon's proton packs shooting it back down, that's what actually was causing the earthquakes. That was cool. I like that. I enjoyed that a lot.
They answered that question. Yes. They tied that one up in a nice little neat bow.
I think a lot of the questions were tied up, I thought. And I think that it didn't leave too much to me. And sort of like mysteries we're still wondering about, or what, that didn't go anywhere.
Again, I mean, it's the technical things that I didn't like so much, but how does this 12-year-old know how to shoot this thing? How can she carry it? Yes. How does the 15-year-old kid who failed his driver's license 3 times drive that thing like like he's driving a NASCAR? Yeah. Podcast, which was absolutely hilarious. He
this is stupid, but I don't understand how the mini puffs came to life.
I don't either.
I understand the dog was there, but I don't understand how the mini puffs started coming to life inside the bag.
I think that was there. I think that was the writing.
Product placement.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Because
we needed it in there. We were tying back to the original Stay Puft,
and that's what it was.
Movie. But you know what? The little versions that are attacking everything, the little gremlins basically that are running around.
That's what I thought of.
I get it, and they're cute little toys.
Yep.
I have at least 2 of the pop figures, and I have like 3 more on order.
Of course, you do.
There's a series of pop figures
on them.
They're adorable, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're really cool ones. Like one has the little umbrella that they were.
Oh, that went through his face.
One that has a piece of pizza because they were tying it in with if it was Little Caesars or one of the pizza chains was doing it, and then they didn't end up doing it. But they have one the first one I got has the Baskin Robbins spoon. It was a Baskin Robbins exclusive. You had to go to a Baskin Robbins store to buy it. The only place you could buy that one.
Really?
I couldn't find any around here, but in San Francisco I found one. So I had to travel from San Francisco back here with my pop figure.
With your Baskin Robbins pop figure of the Stay Puft.
And I had to go to the mall where I found a mall that had a GameStop to buy a hard shell case to put it in the case so I could travel with my suitcase without it getting completely crushed.
That's a lot of effort.
It was a lot of effort. Of course, while I was there, I found a Hot Topics and bought a couple more pops, and then had to go back.
Of course,
I had to go back into the other store to buy more cases so I could get them over here.
They saw you coming.
They saw me a mile away.
They're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, so they have that exclusive, and there's a couple other exclusives that I picked up as well. One that's got like headphones, kind of like what we're wearing. Yep. And, some really cool. One has like a barbecue lighter, a little stick, the click lighter,
which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with them cooking themselves. Yeah, like making s'mores out of themselves.
They have one with a graham cracker. They one that literally has a graham cracker.
See, that's hilarious.
Yeah, things like that. It's pretty cool. They did well with that. I like the little tie-ins when they do that. But that's exactly why they did it.
Right.
Like, well,
here's the thing, though.
Toys.
Did you see what was on the wall? There's one part where Ecto was going around a corner, and they had it on a wall, like an advertisement on the wall, and it was for a Stay Puft marshmallow.
Yes.
I go, see, they could have just left that, and if your eye was quick enough, your eye would have caught that, because my eye caught that.
Yeah, I caught it, yeah.
But yeah, so you say the same thing that I thought. When I saw Little Stay Puft, I was like, but wait a minute. The reason why the Stay Puft came to life, the giant Stay Puft, was because Ray thought of it.
Right.
Because Gozer was like, give me what
your destructor. The destructor.
Oh, no, it was, how do you want to be destroyed, whatever. Yeah. And that's how it happened. So I'm like, well, why do we have this little thing? There was a name
for it. There was a name for the ghost, essentially,
So it's like, what's your biggest desire or whatever. But again, so when I saw them coming out of the back, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I don't get it. Yeah. But then again, there was a tie-in of the little kid at the end that had it all over himself.
Yes.
And it was the same.
He comes out completely covered in marshmallow.
It was the same imagery that we had when Ray Stantz comes out, because Ray was all covered with it. Well, I mean, they all were.
Had a little bit. Ray was
totally covered with it. Yeah. So, and he was the one who was like, oh my God, you're that guy. Yeah. So I like the connection between them two.
And I know it was kind of cheesy, but I liked when Gozer asks him if he's a god. And they're like, Ray, you better fucking answer this question correctly this time, you son of a bitch.
Look at him. him. Yeah.
Look at these,
like, oh, come on.
He starts to stumble. They're like, son of a bitch, you better do it right this time.
Yeah. So again, that little throwback. It's like, thank you. And again, it's just, and that's how I feel about the whole movie was like that for me. It had enough of the nostalgia that made me go, yep, I like it. It was enough of the quirkiness. I liked it. Again, I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And it's not, it just, I liked it. It was a good movie. I'm going
to have to, like we said, we just finished it. We just got back from the theaters. I'm going to have to marinate with it a little bit because it could be a rewatch movie for me. Not in the theaters. I'm not going to go to the theater and spend money on it again, but I will.
And that's exactly one of the very first things I thought of.
When it comes out to streaming, I will definitely watch it again. Right. I'm sure I'll watch it a few more times just because I want to see everything in there. And there's stuff you miss.
No, of course.
Because I was saying to Mila on the car on the way back, like I'm trying to remember stuff. There were certain things I wanted to talk about while I was watching it, and I knew I'd probably forget on the ride home, right? And I did. I'm sure there are. I'm sure when I watch it again, I'll be like, oh, let's talk about that. Let's write that down.
There's definitely a couple times I was watching, I was like in my going, oh, stop, rewind. I can't do that.
Can't do that. Damn. I know. But we have some other stuff coming out soon that we can do that.
Yes.
I know you're going to go to the theater, but I'm watching Matrix, the new Matrix movie at home. So I can stop and rewind all I want.
Well,
yeah. Well, it might be a good thing is to go see it in the theater and then go home and watch it.
I have to go watch that at the theater, man. Yeah. There's a couple things that I have to go see at the theater. Matrix
Spider-Man,
is one of them.
I really want to go to the theater and see.
Yep. I'm trying to actually think that comes out on the 18th. I'm going to Texas for Christmas, and I leave Christmas morning.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You're traveling on Christmas?
Oh, yeah. I've done that last couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's daring. That's brave.
It's actually
You've not
great.
seen the Die Hard movies? Anyway, so my point is I literally just watched Die Hard 2 last night. It's the airport one.
See, I've only seen that once.
Oh.
I don't know.
As good as the first one.
Oh, no.
But it's fun.
Right. I need to go back to watch
one,
that.
Then 3.
Oh, yeah. 3 was
2,
awesome.
Then 2. 1, 3, 2. That's my order. How much I like them.
Yeah, no, 3 was actually really good. I like 3 a lot.
I love 3. But again, that's a movie that ties back to the original.
Yes.
It's Hans Gruber's brother.
Because it's brother, right.
So I like that. Yeah, it takes a while.
Oh, Gruber, not Gruberson?
Yeah, it takes you a while to get back there till they figure that out.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of cool. So
yeah, they played that one well. But yeah, overall, I mean, with Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'll be good. Overall, 7.
Yeah, overall,
I'm gonna give it a nice 7.
I'm gonna probably go somewhere between 8 and 9 for me. I think it's definitely not a 10, but I'm somewhere between 8. I'm gonna go 8.5, 8.5. I'm gonna go 8.5.
Right.
I can't quite give it a 9. I can't quite give it a 9, but I'm gonna go 8.5 on that one. And maybe that extra half, that 5 is a little bit more of the nostalgia kicking me.
Well, honestly, it was the nostalgia that's making me jump it up to like a 7 because
I figured
because there was definitely some. I mean, wasn't the greatest movie? The acting was decent. The dynamic between, I mean, you had asked, how did the mom do? Whatever. Yeah. I think that's one of those roles that I think anybody could have actually played.
Yes.
I mean, she wasn't.
Because we have no tie into her from the original.
There's no tie in at all.
It's not somebody who's grown up that we saw in the original and is now grown up and we can watch this person.
Right. I mean, even... I mean, we all know Paul Rudd because Paul Rudd's been around forever, but we've recently seen him in the Ant-Man movies, and now he is in the MCU, so we know who Paul Rudd is. So some of these people, who know him just from the MCU because they're young or whatever, they could tie that back when they got him, they got Finn from Stranger Things. So, but I mean, with the mother,
so that's the question: would you have rather gone to somebody who's a little bit more well known?
No.
Or is she okay?
No, she's fine.
Need to be?
No, I mean she's.
I don't think so.
I just think the character itself, it's...
I think the character, because she was so mopey and depressy the whole movie, like, it's okay. I want to see somebody I know, who I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, we talked about that with other stuff when you see Giancarlo Esposito playing a different character. Like, I see him as Gus Fring. If he's not, killing people like Gus Fring, it's kind of hard. You know what I mean?
Right. You pigeonhole him.
So, you play somebody who's, how does he play a happy person? A happy, well-adjusted, lovey type. You know what I mean? He's not going to play like, in the Fatherhood movie where he loves his family. Like, it's Gus Fring who was killing bastards left, right, and center.
I'm actually thinking of other movies that he's been in that I've watched, and I don't think he's ever played like a happy-go-lucky guy.
That's my point. How can he?
I mean, he was in a couple of Spike Lee movies in the early days.
He's kind of typecast that way. He's a brilliant actor.
I really like him a lot.
I do. I like him a lot. But how does he play that,
Hey,
father of the bride
no.
guy who's just watching his daughter and
nope,
having fun.
That ain't happening.
Right, exactly.
He's got to go
if
kill
you're
people.
Doing it, it's father of the bride, but he's the drug lord, and that's kind of the problem. You know what I mean? In the background, he's killing people at this wedding. So yeah, absolutely cool. All right, there it is. Anything else you want to add before we jump off today?
No, No, I'm good.
I say go see it. Go to the theaters and go see it.
Definitely go see it.
Especially
I am
if you grew
not
up
upset.
watching the originals.
Yeah, I am not upset about the fact that we went to go watch it. Like,
one last
I'm
thing
good with
though.
it.
They make it. Let's say they make another one, right? Because they've primed us to set up for another one.
Yep.
And now this is my personal opinion. I do not want it to tie to the second one. I think that's pulling too much. You know what I mean? The Vigo, I think you do that.
Oh God, no.
You know what I mean? Like, and I have no problem with the second one. I mean, it's a little weirder. You see the ooze and the slime. And I think it's kind of funky, and it makes the Statue of Liberty move. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I don't think we need the second one to tie into the original second.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I think we have enough connectivity.
It could be more of a standalone story.
It could be a standalone. It's a continuation of this one. Now we know that there's something in the tank. Something in the tank. We don't know what it is, but something's definitely in the tank.
Right.
What's going to come out? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, hopefully it's not Vigo.
Right, because it's kind of like, that's to me the height of lazy writing. You can't write anything else. You've got the nostalgia. You've hooked us for this series. Kind of like they hooked us for, not you particularly, but like the Jurassic World.
Yep.
Right? You tied the original Jurassic World into the original Jurassic Park. They go to the original theme park. Right?
Yep.
You see the original banner on the ground.
Yeah, I did see that one.
You know what I mean? Like you see that. So
They gave it enough of it.
You have enough of a nostalgia. You know, he was Hammond's guy, blah, blah. See, now going forward, you don't have to tie it into the original.
No. Now it's a standalone story.
So, now they're just standalone stories. I think this runs the same way.
Yep.
I don't want to see the second one tied to the second original movie.
Right.
You know,
that will suck.
It's just not necessary. I don't think it's necessary. Come up with an original story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who knows? Hopefully some of the original guys are still around.
If
not, you'll hear about it on this podcast.
Yeah,
maybe
fair
too
enough.
soon. Maybe too soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have. I mean, Ernie Hudson's got to be a part of the next one because he opens it up.
He set himself up to be, which I think is great.
Right, and I mean, she can. I want to say Pepper Potts, but no, what's her name?
Annie Potts.
Annie Potts.
Yeah.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Annie Potts is there, so
she's a wackadoo, by the way.
Who? Annie Potts?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh my God, yeah. Always has been.
I just read something about her too. She was just like, "That's a thing." She should not be asked questions.
No.
I saw her on. I don't know if you ever saw the Chef Show with Jon Favreau. So he made that movie, The Chef. Have you ever seen it? It's actually a really good, cute movie. And the guy who taught him how to cook for that movie is a real chef.
Yeah, I saw something about this.
Netflix has a series with him.
Yes.
And the two of them go around.
And they
it's
go
a traveling
around.
chef show, right? It's a traveling cooking show. So she was on one of the episodes. I think it was the same episode that Bill Burr was on, which is hysterical, by the way, the part that he's on. So she's on there, and they're talking about like the time when they worked on Spider-Man together. And she's like, "I wasn't in Spider-Man. What are you talking about? I wasn't in Spider-Man." He's like, "Yes, you were. Yes, you were."
That was actually Spider-Man. That wasn't one of the
Spider-Man movie when they shows him the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
But he doesn't take it.
Yep.
And she's there with him at the end.
Yep.
It was sort of like almost there after credit scene.
Yep.
So you were right there.
You were. We had it on film.
You were on a Spider-Man movie, and you don't even know you were on a Spider-Man movie. Like, what kind of a nitwit is she?
Yeah, she's
taking too much of the goop. Too much of the goop. All right, excellent. And there it is. Thank you, Larry. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Absolutely. That was good stuff.
That was really cool. So
go watch it.
Definitely get out there. Go see Ghostbusters Afterlife in the theaters now. We enjoyed it. I can't wait till it comes out on streaming to watch it again. If you guys want to chat with us, hit us up online at entertainmentrants.com. You can email us at engage@entertainmentrants.com. All of our social media, Entertainment Rants. We're on our Instagram is the one we use the most, so definitely drop us a line there, or on Facebook as well. We look forward to see you guys again. Larry and I are going to jump offline, go back online, and talk about Hawkeye, right?
Absolutely.
Episode 3 of Hawkeye. Awesome.
Yes.
All right, everybody, get out there and keep on ranting.